Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking an absolutely massive fundamental paradigm shift that's literally happening right beneath our digital feed. We are tracking the evolution of value itself. We're moving away from the age of mere attention and heading straight into the era of intelligence. And honestly, if you spend any time online, this shift is going to directly impact you.
Okay, let's dive right into this. For the past 2 decades, we've basically all lived in the attention economy. That was an era defined by passive scrolling, where just showing up, sheer presence, was the ultimate currency. But the future? The future is the intelligence economy. This is an active, highly valuable ecosystem where your actual knowledge, not just a vacant stare at a screen, drives the whole engine. It's a total inversion of how we interact with technology.
Chapter 1: The Era of Attention.
For years, the internet economy was built around literally one solitary core resource, and that was attention. Tech platforms waged outright wars against each other simply to capture your focus, right? It wasn't about the quality of your engagement. It was purely about how long they could keep you there. Algorithms were meticulously optimized to keep your eyes locked on a screen, measuring success in fractions of a second.
This whole trap of the last 20 years is perfectly captured by this reality. Entirely new business models were designed around keeping people scrolling for as long as possible. And in that system, users became the product. Just think about the sheer passivity of that for a second. Your time, your habit of mindlessly swiping down a feed, was packaged up and sold. You weren't a participant in the economy, you were the raw material being mined. Chapter 2: AI needs usable intelligence. But now, artificial intelligence is forcing the economy to care about something entirely different: knowledge. And that shift is a clear, hard rejection of the old metrics. The new economy is not about passive consumption. It's not about counting hollow clicks. And it's definitely not about tracking empty impressions. Those old vanity metrics, they're becoming completely irrelevant because AI requires something much, much deeper to actually function. What AI desperately needs is what we call usable intelligence. It needs human corrections when it makes a silly mistake. It needs expert annotations to understand really complex nuances. It relies on edge case insights to prevent critical failures in the real world. And it demands verified datasets to strengthen its decision-making. Guys, these aren't passive clicks. These are active, thoughtful human contributions. Your insights are rapidly becoming the critical, economically valuable infrastructure that literally keeps AI systems running. Chapter 3: The extractive model fails. So the crucial point is this: most AI platforms right now still operate with those old internet-era incentives. They're trying to build the future of intelligence using the outdated extractive economic models of the attention age. It's kind of like trying to power a rocket ship with a steam engine. The fundamental mechanics simply do not align with the actual value being created. Let's walk through exactly how this trap works step by step. We call it the extractive loop. Step 1. These platforms extract your knowledge, just taking your expert insights for free. Step 2, they centralize ownership, locking that intelligence away in their own proprietary servers. And step 3, they capture all the upside internally. Your valuable human insight is silently absorbed into a black box system, completely enriching the platform while leaving you entirely out of the equation. And, this results in a deeply flawed dynamic. Contributors improve the system while remaining totally disconnected from the long-term value they create. This is just entirely unsustainable. As AI grows more and more dependent on high-quality human input from the very people watching this explainer right now, you just cannot keep treating experts like free data piñatas. The system is eventually going to break if the contributors aren't rewarded.
Chapter 4: Structuring Human Insight. A protocol known as CoData exists exactly at this transition point. It represents the crucial catalyst where human insight stops being silently absorbed into black box systems and instead starts becoming verifiable. This is the exact moment where the previously invisible contributor finally becomes visible and, more importantly, actually capable of being compensated for their knowledge. And this brilliantly illustrates how, through this new infrastructure, human insight fundamentally transforms. It becomes structured, it becomes attributable directly back to the person who provided it, it becomes verifiable by peers, it becomes programmable into new applications, and critically, it becomes economically connected to the outcomes it produces. Making insight verifiable completely changes the incentives across the entire network.
Chapter 5: The New Knowledge Economy.
First and foremost, when you are actually rewarded for truth, the entire game changes. People start optimizing for quality instead of volume. We shift away from mindless scrolling, clickbait, and spam, and move toward deliberate, thoughtful, and highly valuable contributions. The internet basically stops being a megaphone for the loudest voice and starts becoming a filter for the most accurate one. Let's move along and see how this builds because, as a result, validation becomes economically meaningful. Under this new system, verifying a fact, correcting an AI hallucination, or confirming an edge case isn't just a nice thing to do for the community anymore. It has tangible economic weight. The system finally rewards accuracy and truth with real, actual value. And because of this new dynamic, your reputation compounds over time. Back in the attention era, you were just a fleeting user ID in some massive database. But in the knowledge era, your expertise, your history of providing reliable input, and your verified insights build a lasting, recognizable profile of value. Your intellectual contributions basically become a permanent ledger of your expertise. All of this ladders up to a massive conclusion. Reliable intelligence becomes an asset class. Really think about the magnitude of this for a second. We're talking about transforming your human insight, your unique ability to reason and correct, into a literal asset. This shift, from viewing human thought as just disposable data to treating it as a foundational asset class, may very well become the defining shift of the entire AI era. Now, what's really interesting about this comparison is how it brings our entire journey full circle. The old internet monetized attention simply by keeping users engaged and distracted, but the future? AI may monetize knowledge by coordinating trusted intelligence at massive scale. It is a complete evolution from passive distraction to coordinated active intelligence. But to make this leap, we need a clean break from the past. We need different infrastructure, we need different economics, and we need entirely different incentives. The protocols that solve this coordination layer early on, the platforms that figure out how to properly structure and reward human insight, they're the ones going to shape exactly how value flows across the entire next generation of AI systems. Which leaves us with one final critical question to consider as we wrap up today. If AI increasingly depends on human insight, should knowledge contributors remain invisible to the economy they help power? Think about the knowledge you possess and the real value it brings to the tools you use every single day. It might just be time to reconsider your worth in this digital landscape. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we continue to decode the systems shaping our world.